So cheesesteak is by far one of my favorite sandwiches. Now they say it's redundant to say Philly cheesesteak because Philly cheesesteak, it is of Philly, right? It's almost as endemic as the Liberty Bell being there. It's from Philadelphia. I like to switch it up just a little bit. I'm tiptoeing in dangerous waters here, but I like to switch it up and do pork tenderloin instead of your standard beef. So without further ado, let's introduce the hot smoked pork tenderloin Philly. Let's get into the action. So I got a beautiful pork tenderloin here from our friends at Cheshire Pork, and I'm just going on with a little salt, pepper, garlic. Nothing crazy. And we will dice this up, but first thing I want to do is get some smoke on it. So I'm going to treat it with some low and slow, and then finish it off with some fast and furious. Let's go take a look at our grill setup today. I'm stabilized at 400 degrees. Remember I said this was going to be a hot smoke. So I've got one side that is indirect and one side that is direct with a cast iron griddle. What I'm going to do, and one of my favorite accessories, by the way, it's kind of 2 for 1. The other side's riveted, so you get 2 different sear signatures. I'm going to sneak a big old piece of apple directly onto the charcoal. So we're just going to throw it in the hottest portion of our coals. We're going to get combustion here in a second. I'm going to take that tenderloin and just set it right here. We're going to cook this thing till it comes to an internal temperature of about 110, let's call it 110 degrees, all right? So I'm starting to see a little bit of that wispy smoke that we want to see. I'm going to close that dome. And again, we're going to smoke probably for only about 10 minutes on each side. We're not trying to cook it fully. I just want that smoke caramelization on the outside. And again, then we're going to finish it on the griddle with some of the vegetables. Let's go ahead and prep some of the vegetables while our pork tenderloin is smoking. Super simple today. 2 little hoagie buns, a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper, and a yellow onion. Okay, so these are our vegetables. And the way I like to prepare these, you want to have a little bit of a bite when they're done. So we're going to cut them top and bottom, and then roll cut that seed pod.
I like that trick.
Yeah. Roll cut that seed pod right out of there so there's not a single seed on our board. It's all just right there. And maybe, I don't know, what do you think, Nathan, about that long?
Yeah, looks good.
Turn, and look how easy this is. Perfect. And that is big enough to cook and yet still give us a little bit of a bite, almost that pasta al dente feel, but it will cook down a little bit. And that was super fast.
Skills 101 from Chef Eric.
Yeah, I've taught it once or twice. All right, there we are. Now onions, I like a yellow onion here. I've seen red onion used in these hoagies before and Phillies before, but I like a nice yellow onion. And now we've got a decision to make. Do we want to slice traditionally, where we would just take it this way across the cellular structure, or cut it a little deep towards the root end here and give ourselves a little bit more structure? All right, so we're gonna have a stronger mouthfeel, if you will. And right when I get to this point, I'll flatten it out and then go again. Beautiful. All right, so that's a nice little, and these just separate just like a deck of cards, if you will. My goodness, it looks like we're prepping for a lot, but that was only 1 red bell pepper, 1 green pepper, and 1 onion. You get a lot for a little with this. You could even switch to pork loin if you wanted to and cut it into smaller pieces. Then we're really on a budget, which I prefer. There, we're flattening it out now. Beautiful. And there we are. Look at all that. That's a feast. Obviously, as we cook it down, it's gonna shrink a little bit, but that's a good pile. And Nathan, actually, behind the camera here, recommended throwing a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in there. Do you like that? That's good, Trey? Yeah. Helps with the caramelization.
I think so.
Yeah, and we'll knock a little butter in there as well. Let's take a look at our pork tenderloin. We could probably turn it at this point. It's not been 10 minutes yet, but we do what we want to. It's just cooking. Notice that smoke that's coming up, almost translucent. Starting to get a little color to it. Tacking up nicely with that seasoning. A lot of folks think that's a lot of seasoning. It is, but remember, there's no seasoning in any of the internal pieces. So as we chop this up, that's going to split out nicely, and that's going to be a great seasoning throughout all those vegetables with the bread as well. So we're winning here. I'm probably going to wait 5 more minutes at least before we dice this up and then get it all going on the flat top. All right, it's been another 5, and without taking an internal temperature, we can see that we've got some nice caramelization, some good smoke. Yeah, it was really quick, right? So we're gonna let this rest for just a minute. Now remember, it doesn't need to go through a full rest because it's not fully cooked. It's just got some caramelization, some smoke, some seasoning going on. Let's go ahead and transfer our more fibrous vegetables to the flat top griddle. Oh yeah. And I want to cook these beauties up a little bit before I put the onions on there. The onions will caramelize faster, but again, I don't want to cook them too fast, okay? I want to start thinking about my hoagies here and just kind of cutting them 3/4 of the way through. Just a nice landing place for all of that meat and vegetable, just like so. We're gonna toast these babies off as well. That's good. Let's go ahead and add the onions. And I've backed myself into a corner here. I don't like it. I don't like being backed into a corner. I'm gonna kick my bread on over here, and why not, right? It's indirect. I'm just fine with that. And since I'm over here now, I've got a little bit of butter. I can't help myself but to butter these guys. You know, they just need a little love.
Little butter love.
Little butter love. And while we've got the butter out, little for the vegetables as well. Love that. And now I've got all this grill estate to continue caramelizing on. And that's what I want to see. This gives us an opportunity to kind of go ahead and take a look at that tenderloin and start slicing that up. I can't believe this is 1 onion, 1 red bell pepper, and 1 green bell pepper. Crazy. All right, you're flipped. You're flipped. We're gonna shut that dome so we can let that natural lump charcoal give us that of the grill flavor. And let's go ahead and slice into this pork tenderloin. Now we got a decision to make. Do we want to do ribbons or do we want to do dice? Tell me in the comment section. Okay, it's too late. I can't see the comment section. Let's go ahead and do, oh, look at that. Ribbons. I tell you what, that cooked quicker than I thought it would. And now that we've got ribbons, let's dice it. This is going to be easier to eat, I think. Jeez, this is great. This is one of those items that's just so fun and impressive. It strikes a chord with everybody because everybody loves a good Philly, but it's slightly different. It's slightly elevated, right? That pork tenderloin is just going to make all the difference here in originality with this sandwich. And that's a fair amount of pork there, all right? Let's take a look at our vegetables and incorporate, finish everything together. Beautiful. And maybe I even switch gears to a fish spatula. I like the flex of a fish spat. Oh yeah. Just show you, that's kind of the color that we like to see. Now right in this space right here, we're gonna go ahead and place our pork. We'll hit it with a little bit of olive oil first. And we'll just spread it out. Oh yeah. Now we gotta make sure that we got a good meat to vegetable ratio. So I'm not sure that we use all of these vegetables. This is looking great. Keep flipping the veggies. We want to make sure this pork is fully cooked. So give it just a minute so we can caramelize, then we'll start flipping. Let's start cordoning this off into 2 sandwiches. Mixing that meat in with the vegetables. Look at that. Yeah. All right, now we go right on top with our cheese. So right now we're using provolone. I see a lot of folks using white American or white cheddar or even yellow American cheese. But provolone for me all the way for this sandwich. Now we top with that golden crusty brown right there. Boom. All right, give that 1 minute to work its magic. Oh, that is a sandwich to remember. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's a thing of beauty.
That's a thing of beauty right there. I want some more vegetables on top here though. Luckily for us, I have some. I want to see, yeah. I remember that cheese is in there. Yo, pork Philly, you know? Pork cheesesteak, whichever one you want to go with. Oh, I forgot to do the Worcestershire in the next time. Or do leave us in the comment if you tried this with the Worcestershire in there. Did it elevate it? I'm sure it did. You know, I'm sure it did. But this looks stunning. I'm not sad about this at all. That's a monster bite. That's like eat half of one and take a nap. You know, I feel like I'm in Philadelphia Messina Social Club right now. Hello to Chef Eddie Conrad. Like that's fun stuff, all right? And we still get that crunch that we were looking for in the vegetables, I'll be honest with you.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I can't stand it when we cook it down so much and just all the flavors become sea of same. So I think we did a great job keeping our flavors, keeping our textures, keeping our colors. And that pork, the salt and pepper, it just makes everything dance on your tongue. The provolone, excellent. Fun play on the hoagie. You can go anywhere with that bread, though. That's a lot of fun. Folks, do all the things. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, do leave us a comment. Absolutely love seeing those comments and responding to them. You know, give us a comment about your favorite ingredient. What did we miss? What did we forget in the besides the I mean, are you going mushrooms? Is that a thing? Banana peppers? Sacrilegious? Yes. I don't know. Folks, as always, from our backyard to yours, cheers and happy grilling.